Anytime you're ready. But the hardest part will be listening to you complain about it. Let's go.
So 20 years ago, this kid's woken up in the middle of the night and put in a closet to hide. His dad goes outside to meet a guy in a furry coat who's clearly not there for a friendly visit.
Uh-oh.
When they come inside, the kid stupidly opens the closet door in the room they're in, only to see the furry coat dude pull a gun on his dad. And then he thinks that he can save his dad from multiple men with guns.
It was a mistake.
But his coming out of the closet only makes the bad guys aware that he was there, and after he jumps out a window, they still shoot his dad, and he dies.
Why did they kill him?
Apparently he was spying on them, and he actually could have lived because the furry coat dude gave him some dice and told him to roll. But he rolled a 2, so he lost and had to die.
That's disappointing.
And then the bad guys set the house on fire to make it look like an accident or some shit. But this little dude is so mad that he doesn't even wait for the guys who are looking for him to leave before he comes out of hiding and broods.
And who says you're not a thinker?
And we can see that today, he still has this pent-up rage because now he's a cage fighter that goes by the name Snake Eyes.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Snake Eyes is another name for rolling a 2.
So his tough guy fighter name just means he's shitty at rolling dice? What would he have been called if he rolled a 4?
Little Joe from Kokomo.
What if he rolled 6s?
Well, then his dad would still be alive, and he wouldn't be letting dudes swing sledgehammers at his head.
Well, it's good to know we're not running low on crazy.
So can I tell you the story or what?
Fine.
Alright, his name would have been something like Boxcar Willie.
Cool name.
Anyway, after the fight, this dude comes up to him and is all, "I've been watching you, and I need a man like you." Which would have only been just a little creepy, but he did it in a locker room.
That ain't creepy at all.
So Snake Eyes blows him off, but then Kenta says that he can find out who killed his dad. And because he's been looking for furry coat dude for 20 years, he overlooks the fact that Kenta broke into his hotel room and went through his shit, and he accepts.
Stop right there. I'm in.
So after 4 weeks, he's asked to stop putting machine guns in dead fish to go to a team meeting. And that's when he finds out that this guy Tommy was found out to be a spy from another clan in Japan. And it might not have been the best idea to spy on his cousin who knows he's with the Arashikage.
That's dangerous.
But Kenta wants Tommy dead for his disloyalty, and wants to show him what loyalty really looks like. So he gives the gun to the only person that didn't bow when he entered the room.
Where are your manners?
But Snake Eyes can't do it, most likely because Tommy's been nothing but nice to him.
Here comes Fish Boy. Cover up, cover up.
So Snake Eyes and Tommy, who still has his hands tied behind his back, decide to fight their way out against the 40-plus Yakuza.
I've done dumber things with worse odds.
Luckily, half of them just left when the fight started, and the ones that did stay only attack one at a time, so they're good.
Can I trust you with nothing?
After the fight, Snake Eyes unties Tommy in the most complicated way possible, and then they notice that Kenta got into a truck and is trying to escape. So instead of being happy that he's still alive, Tommy wants to chase down the truck on foot, and the goons in the factory just watch him and Snake Eyes go after the leader of their clan.
And they're completely obedient.
But at the exit, the other half of the team meeting are waiting on them, and the dudes that they already fought come up from behind. Now these guys all have swords, so Tommy just takes away 2 guys' swords, and Snake Eyes jumps into a crowd of sword guys with a knife, and they manage to beat them all up fast enough to catch up to the truck on foot.
Sure you did. You're being serious.
Tommy wants to kill Kenta, so he runs up behind him screaming, completely losing the element of surprise.
I'm guessing you always pick last on the playground, huh?
But more dudes show up, so they get in the truck, but it won't start. So all the dudes start stabbing the truck, but none of them hit them, even though I'm pretty sure all these guys know where the seats in the cab are, and that they should probably aim for those.
You trained him well.
Well, they finally get the truck started, just as Snake Eyes gets stabbed, but then the cops show up. So Snake Eyes passes out and wakes up in an airplane. Tommy tells him that he and Kenta were both being considered to take over the Arashikage, but Kenta tried to kill him to make sure he got it. But the elders found out, and Tommy decided to have him banished instead of killing him. And ever since, Kenta's been trying to get enough power so he can come back and kill them all.
You think I would endanger this clan?
Now Tommy didn't know that Kenta was the one running the guns, but it still seems pretty stupid that the Arashikage sent their number 2 undercover in a foreign country with no backup, and only disguised by a beard and floppy hair.
Yes, as a master of disguise, you have no equal, my friend.
So they get to the Arashikage fortress, and Snake Eyes is like, "Can I go now?" But Tommy's like, "Do you want to stay and become a ninja?" And Snake Eyes is like, "Okay." But then he tells him that he has to complete 3 challenges, but if he doesn't, he's gonna die.
I don't like how casual you're being about this. It's unnatural.
So for the first test, he has to get a bowl that the Hardmaster is holding without spilling a drop. He gets 4 chances, and apparently 80% of the people fail this test.
That means 20% pass.
Yeah, it's math.
So he attacks him 3 times and fails 3 times. But then he thinks about the speech that Tommy gave at the beginning of the ceremony, and he just asks him for it.
Okay, hard on, master, whatever your name is. I humbly request that you accept my ball in exchange for yours.
And he's like, okay.
So was he supposed to give that speech? Or was he giving him a clue?
The speech he gave was about the Arashikage mindset. See, they believe that only those that are pure of heart are allowed to be in the clan. And that's what the test is really about.
And it always will be.
At dinner that night, Snake Eyes is told by this chick Akiko that the next challenge is with the blind master, and that dude can smell a lie like a fart in a car. So Snake Eyes borrows a motorcycle and goes into town where he meets up with Kenta. Turns out he's been working for him the whole time, but now Snake Eyes wants to back out of their deal.
Because he likes Tommy and he wants to join his clan?
No, because Kenta hasn't given him anything in return. But then he pulls some dice out of his pocket, and Snake Eyes is like, OMG, those are clearly the dice used by my father's killer, and not some dice you just pulled out of a board game you had at home. What do you need me to do? And Kenta tells him that they're hiding something called the Jewel of the Sun somewhere on the grounds, and he wants it. So he's like, okay. And when he gets back to the secure fortress with no resistance, we see that Akiko saw that he left. She's the head of security, so she was already suspicious of him because she couldn't find anything about him on the internet. But now, she really thinks he's shady as fuck.
Trust is a hard thing to come by these days.
The next morning, he asks Tommy why they have such beefed up security for a fort entirely housed by ninjas, and Tommy tells him about the jewel and how it can allow you to kill someone with your thoughts.
I want to learn how to blow shit up with my mind.
And this was given to them by the sun goddess to see if they were really as pure of heart as they say.
Only a person who wanted to find the stone but not use it would be able to get it.
So their clan swore that they would never use it and protect it from anybody who would. So this jewel is why everyone has to be pure of heart, because otherwise somebody would use it to take over the world.
But if they've never used it and they've stopped anybody else from using it, then how do they know they're just not guarding a really pretty rock?
Shut up. One day some random lady came up and gave him a rock and said, this is really, really powerful, but if you use it, you're a bunch of dickheads. But if you don't, you're the chosen ones and are super important and shit. And they chose to be super important and shit.
Knowing is half the battle.
And then he gives him a sword and tells him that people who use guns are pussies.
So uncivilized.
But Snake Eyes has follow-up questions about the powerful rock they're hiding, and Tommy tells him that it has a DNA lock on it, and then doesn't wonder why this outsider is asking so many questions about their most prized possession. But Snake Eyes should probably be wondering, if Kenta's family, why can't he just go in and get the rock himself?
What do you care?
But later on, Akiko catches him spying on the heavily guarded building and asks him why he's even in Japan.
He woke up on an airplane and asked to leave the second he got there.
Yeah, he was invited and asked to join them, but because he has some curiosity about the one building somebody stopped him from going near, she wants to sword fight him.
People looking for a reason not to trust me from the start.
But this is interrupted by Tommy calling, saying that he found out that Kenta's in town running guns. Akiko wants to take a team to go take him down, but Tommy wants to kill him himself. And Snake Eyes is like, can I come too? And Tommy's like, okay. So they take him, and not the team that Akiko wanted, to stop a group of trained murderers.
We value her advice, but we don't have to take it.
And for a couple of ninjas who are known for stealth and sneakery, they seem to like the, hey everybody, I'm over here method of fighting.
A win without honor is no win at all.
So this group of the toughest gang around see a lone woman in an alley and are like, holy shit, all hands on deck, and go attack her.
They fly now? They fly now!
Eventually, Tommy sees that Kenta is on a roof watching them kill all of his men, and then he super jumps up to him.
I'll buy you a trampoline.
Snake Eyes sees that Kenta is about to kill Tommy, and Akiko's almost there to save him. So he cuts a wire that drops a radio transmitter in Akiko's path. But that doesn't matter, because I guess Kenta's afraid of loud noises or something, and just fucks off.
Damn ninjas.
They then find out that the guns are being supplied by Cobra, a global terrorism unit that wants to start a revolution. So they call Scarlett O'Hara.
The Gone with the Wind chick?
No, the one from G.I. Joe.
An elite global counterterrorism unit.
But she has some Cobra dudes after her, so she goes into the bathroom, and they're polite enough to let her finish her phone call before they attack her.
Your enemy will show you no mercy.
But these guys forget they have guns, and just let the chick half their size beat them up. She then says she's on her way, but they should watch out for this chick called the Baroness.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Later, Snake Eyes wants to call off the deal, so after losing Akiko, he goes down an elevator that is definitely not OSHA approved to tell Kenta in person that he's out.
I'm out.
It's too late to back out now. You're already committed, bro.
But the Baroness is there, and she shows him a live feed of Furry Coat Dude. And she's like, all you have to do is steal a jewel. So what if Kenta wants to use it to kill all your new friends, and who gives a fuck that Cobra's gonna use it to take over the world? But since you want out, now you only have 3 days to do it, because we don't really feel like babysitting Furry Coat Dude anymore.
So him sneaking out only got him a shorter timeline with a group that's already suspicious of him.
Yes, and all of this to find a guy who he now knows in 3 days will be released somewhere in the city, or killed, which is what he wants anyway. So instead of Akiko reporting that Snake Eyes has been sneaking out and around the grounds, she just lets him take the second test to become a member of their clan. In this test, the blind master has him follow a magic light that has him relive the night that his dad was killed. He apologizes to his dad for not being able to save him, but his dad's like, shut the fuck up, you were 6. What could you have done? And that ends the hallucination, and the blind master tells him that he needs to get over that shit, or he's gonna fail the last test.
Moving on is an American idea.
Well, that night, Snake Eyes struggles with what to do. Does he help the bad guys kill the people who are willing to accept them into his clan and give him a home that he hasn't had for 20 years? And also aid a terrorist organization to take over the world through fear and violence, or not?
Well, I mean, when you put it like that.
So he decides to let the dice decide, and he finds out that they were loaded to always get Snake Eyes. And he's like, oh, Furry Coat Dude has to die now.
So he cheated.
No, he more just gave him a false sense of hope. It would have only been cheating if Snake Eyes' dad suggests that they pop open a game of Yahtzee and roll for his life. But then Furry Coat Dude was like, nah, I got some right here. But Snake Eyes doesn't see it that way, and he thinks that Furry Coat Dude is a cheater pumpkin eater and goes to steal the Jewel of the Sun and sneaks into that heavily guarded building. But he doesn't immediately see it in there and assumes that's not where they're keeping it. And then Akiko comes in and sees an open window and automatically assumes that Snake Eyes broke in. So she runs back to the dorms where she looks for him in his apartment, but he pretends like he was taking a shit and is like, what the hell are you doing in here? She says that she doesn't trust him, so he tells her that he doesn't have a paper trail that she can look up on the internet because even he doesn't know his real name.
So he's just been going by Snake Eyes because he found out his dad wasn't calling him by the name on his birth certificate?
Shut up. If you were able to pick any name you wanted, you wouldn't go by Lori, just like I wouldn't go by Greg. And if we picked our names as kids, it would probably be something stupid like Snake Eyes too.
Why don't you pick your name? It's gonna be your name the rest of your life. What do you want it to be?
Everyone, call her Sloth Baby.
Battlestar.
Frankenstein.
Star-Lord.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Mr. Snoofers.
Mr. Snoofers.
That's what I said.
That's the coolest name ever!
So Akiko tells him that carrying around all the guilt from his father's death will make him fail the next challenge. So the next day, he stupidly wants to do the next challenge.
It will be up to you whether you wish to take it.
Be certain that you wish to proceed. Once the third challenge begins, there is no turning back.
What if I fail?
You die.
Like that's gonna happen.
I'm sure.
He has to go into a pit where 3 giant snakes come out, and even though he was told that they're just there to judge his character, he gets in a fighting pose. Apparently, they won't eat anyone who's pure of heart, which of course is the perfect trial for somebody who wants to join a ninja murder squad.
Give me one good reason why not.
But after he stops acting like he wants to punch the snakes, they let him think that he's safe, and then attack him. But Akiko kicks the one that's holding him in the face and distracts them so he can climb out. Because he technically failed the test and didn't die, Akiko and Tommy are being punished for Snake Eyes not being eaten.
You bastard.
So Snake Eyes tells the clan elders his dead daddy revenge story, so they just kick him out. But Tommy's upset that Snake Eyes never told him the dead daddy revenge story, and they've known each other for weeks.
I don't see how. It's like all he talks about.
Right? But Snake Eyes tells Tommy that if they can't be brothers in the clan, that he'd like it if they could be blood brothers. And he's like, okay. He even tries to give back the clan heirloom sword that represents honor, and he's like, nah, you can have it, even though you're being kicked out for lying.
He speaks the truth.
So he takes the honor sword, and before he even leaves the compound, sets off the security system so he can see what the protocols are when somebody breaks in. He follows Tommy and Akiko to this tool shed in the woods, and finds out that that's where they're keeping the Jewel of the Sun. Then, he doesn't even wait for the army of ninjas to leave before breaking in, and knowing that they have cameras everywhere, he takes off his mask when he enters the vault, just in case they don't suspect it was him. So he uses Tommy's blood from the Blood Brother Pact to open the safe and take the jewel. He then shoves it up his ass and turns to see Akiko. She has the chance to kill him, but he punches her in the face, and she just lets him run away.
Not a chance, but I'll give you a head start.
So when Grandma finds out, she is pissed, so Tommy promises to get the stone back and kill Snake Eyes for revenge.
Well, that's not very pure of heart.
No, definitely not.
Is it weird that it feels disrespectful?
The next day, Snake Eyes goes to meet with Kenta and the Baroness and gives them the jewel.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
And then Kenta calls a goon over and tries to blow him up with his mind. And it works.
I told you.
Kenta then tells him that Furry Coat Dude is inside the building, but Snake Eyes overhears that Kenta plans on attacking the Arashikage, even over this passing train, and now he can't enjoy his reward. He still wants to kill him, and makes him roll his own loaded dice.
Roll!
But then Furry Coat Dude says that he only killed his dad because Cobra ordered the hit. So now that he knows that there's more to the story, he doesn't ask any follow-up questions, frees Furry Coat Dude, and goes to stop Kenta.
Just like that, we're supposed to be cool?
Tommy and Akiko see him leaving and assume that he's heading back to the fort because he left a parking lot. They decide to follow him, but they're being followed by somebody too. Tommy and Akiko attack Snake Eyes, but he attacks the dude following them, and this makes the Yakuza guys forget that they were after Tommy and Akiko and go after him. So Akiko drops back to help him, but Tommy waits until the Yakuza are dead and drops back to fight Snake Eyes himself.
Hello, brother.
And then after Snake Eyes tells him that Kenta has the jewel, more Yakuza show up, and Tommy's like, I'll kill you as soon as we're out of here and everybody's safe. So Kenta shows up to the fort and starts blowing shit up left and right.
I'm the quicker blower-upper, baby.
But when the elders come out, he just sends guys to fight him. And then the Baroness catches Scarlett, who just randomly got dropped off by a helicopter by herself.
Joe style.
And the clan leader tries to run away, so Kenta's like, oh no you don't, Grandma, and says that they can fight over the stone, which she declines. They take them to the main building, where Kenta betrays the Baroness, and right before he's about to set his grandma on fire, who by the way looks younger than him, he hears that Tommy's there. So after their men have taken a whole fort, he's worried about one dude starting some shit.
This is just one guy.
Tommy meets up with the Blind and Hard Masters, and they take out like 20 dudes as Snake Eyes and Akiko go to save Leader Grandma. But that's when they find out that she made an alliance with Scarlett and the Baroness and killed all the Yakuza.
Oh, the three of you are like my fantasy football team.
They then meet up with Tommy, and the two pairs of people who want to kill each other team up to kill bad guys, while Grandma and the Masters go get some fireworks. Then everybody meets up in the center of town for a final showdown. Well, at least until the women shoot all the goons. And then no one takes advantage of Kenta looking at his rock after realizing it saved him from bullets. So Grandma drops a smoke bomb, and they all scatter. Tommy attacks him and says that you should have killed me when you had the chance. And then Kenta doesn't kill him now that he has the chance. Grandma then super jumps over Kenta to put a fan on his face, and he doesn't kill her while he has the chance. The Masters then pull a wagon full of fireworks towards him, and he blows it up to keep himself from being run over. But this knocks the stone out of his hand. Tommy gets to it first and tries to blow up Kenta, but he must have thought about the wall instead of Kenta, and he gets away. And then Grandma takes away his toy because he's not responsible enough with it.
You obviously can't be trusted with it.
Now Snake Eyes is chasing after Kenta, and they get to the snake pit. Kenta's completely kicking his ass, but luckily there was a length of chain just lying around, and after Snake Eyes gets stabbed on purpose, he ties that to Kenta's leg and jumps in the pit.
But Kenta has passed his test before.
Right, but that was before he was a vengeful dick. So he gets eaten, and he dies. But Snake Eyes is still tied to Kenta. So one snake stops swallowing Kenta to judge Snake Eyes. Once they realize he's cool after forgiving Furry Coat Dude, another snake understands that he's tied to Kenta and breaks the metal chain with his mouth for him.
Anything's possible.
Back at the fort, Grandma tells Tommy that because he used the jewel, he can never be their leader.
What do you mean by never? Like never, never, ever?
So he throws a baby fit and says that if he can't lead them, that he doesn't even want to be a part of them anymore, and he fucks off.
But if they swore that they would never use the jewel, then shouldn't they want to kick him out?
Yeah, but let's be real. Grandma was never going to kick him out. I mean, he hasn't had the Arashikage mindset in a long time. He even tried to kill Kenta with his back turned. And because he was born into the family and not recruited, he was probably able to cut some corners because of it.
This is my destiny.
As Snake Eyes gathers his crap, Scarlett tells him that his dad used to be a Joe.
When all else fails, we don't.
And he died because he saved thousands of people. So if he wants to join the Joes, he can. But Snake Eyes wants to go after Tommy and bring him back before he does something stupid. So Akiko gives him a special motorcycle suit.
Cool mask.
And he goes off to find him.
I'm in a whole new outfit now.
But the Baroness found him first and wants to recruit him to join the people who just killed most of his family. And he's like, okay. But since he wants nothing to do with the Arashikage anymore, he wants to go by the name Storm Shadow, which is just the English translation of Arashikage.
Wait, the entire clan is called Storm Shadow?
Well, come on. I mean, it's not like ninjas are known for their creativity.
You change your name from Shang to Sean?
You have that look you get sometimes. The shadow before a storm.
You are almost hard to find.
I've been watching you for a while now.
Just saying.
I have a better idea.
I want you to join us.
Everything we want in life comes at a price. Now do it.
Abandon ego. Strike with honor. Selflessness and truthfulness will lead to harmony.